with Chainlink Q&A with Chris Dawe from WEYU. How you doing, Chris?
Very good, Andy. Very good to be on the program.
Dude, he showed me his outdoors just before this, and it is like a glorious, pristine winter, scenario. Mine's not bad. I'm also in a cold weather climate, so it's not bad either, but yours looks pretty good, man. Hey, everybody, we got a bunch of people who are already tuned in. That's fantastic. I love doing these Chainlink Q&As, and I'm excited to learn about WEYU. I was practicing introducing it, and I said Weyu, and Chris corrected me. So, what's the story between Weyu and WEYU?
So yeah, it's a funny long story. Yeah, it's fairly long. I'll see if I can shorten it up. Nobody really knows this. I think there's many core members of the team that don't even know this.
This is history. All right, I'm not editing this out at all. This is staying.
This is it. All right. So here comes the story. So we have a blockchain development team in Amsterdam, and we work on all kinds of decentralized systems, DAOs, and different types of projects and stuff. And our CTO, he had this idea for a project for a very long time, and he had this name for it, and I just loved the name. Like, it just grew on me. And then finding out where that name came from, which was Nostromo. He was talking to me about that it's from the movie Aliens. It's the ship from Aliens. And then
Cool.
I was creating this NFT platform, and I decided to go, listen, I really want to use that name for my NFT platform. And he said, absolutely no way. I've been working on an AI infrastructure that this needs to be the name for it. And it's my favorite movie, and you can't have it. I tried to bribe him every way I could, and he just wouldn't do it. So I looked at the movie and all of the history of this ship, the Nostromo, and it was built by a joint venture. Movies have these massive backgrounds in stuff. They have to cover the bases to make sure it all makes sense. And the Nostromo
the Alien series, especially, it goes for centuries. She keeps waking up millennia later and everything. So yeah,
it is so deep, all the way down to the serial numbers of all the vessels, what the vessels are for, and it's so incredibly deep. So the Nostromo was built by a Japanese American cooperation called Weyland Yutani. So that's where WEYU came from, because I just needed to keep this. There was something special about the story. So WEYU comes, I was going to call it Weyland Yutani, but it was a bit too big and weird. So that's where WEYU was born, and the branding came right after. Yeah.
All right, Chris, we're going to get along, because I like those deep cuts, the deep into the lore. Hey, everybody. Welcome. My name's Andy. I'm here with Chris from WEYU, not Weyu, WEYU, for the deep cuts from the naming. We're going to talk about WEYU's NFT platform, what they're doing, what they're building, how they use Chainlink, and just talk a little bit about the industry as well. Let's get this going. What do you say, Chris?
Yeah, let's go. Rock and roll.
Right. The man says rock and roll. Let's do so. Welcome to Chainlink Live. My name's Andy Boyne from Chainlink Labs. I'm here with Chris Dawe from WEYU. The NFT platform recently announced an integration with Chainlink using Chainlink VRF. And so we brought Chris on to learn a little bit about the platform. Let's get started. Before we start, if you've got questions, if you've got comments, feel free to drop them in the chat. I see Jan in there saying hey, and I see other folks are viewing. So please feel free to drop those, and we'll address those as we can. Chris, start us off. What is WEYU? What's kind of its special, unique place in this ecosystem?
Yeah, so ecosystem is the key here, I feel. There's a lot of people building products and services that all look very similar to each other in the entire crypto industry, right? So you have launch pads and you have DeFi platforms, and they all function, and they're very much the same, but they segregate from each other. And so what WEYU's main mission is to do is create a real thriving ecosystem of products and services across a wide spectrum of products and services for people to participate in all kinds of ways. And that's been the build out of the entire platform, is to build out products and services that many different types of people from different backgrounds can participate in. So we actually haven't even introduced the marketplace yet, because we have so many different products and services to encourage people to come in and play. So yeah, that's it's all about ecosystem for us.
So you were talking a little bit about your team. It's smart contracts and infrastructure and all this sort of stuff. And as your team start building this product and that product, you just kind of fit them together as they make sense. Because then, is that the idea? A user can come and just tap into a variety of services at the same time?
Yeah, so WeU has several services that we've put out already. So we have WeLaunch, which is our launch pad.
Hmm.
And the launch pad, we're just looking for like really nice long-term strategic partners to put onto WeLaunch. We think it's a very important place to have before the marketplace comes live, because we've seen a lot of different marketplaces come live. Not too much is happening once they come live. So we're building the ecosystem before the marketplace. And then we have another platform called Earn. One of the biggest problems in the industry for projects that we talk to is building a community of people. It's a confusing and incredibly hard thing. If you listen to like Naval Ravikant, he says, listen, I first and foremost like invest in people that have a builder, right? The technical team, and then the sales guy, right? Which is usually the CEO. But if they have a community builder, then I'm all in, because that's what it's all about, building community. So with us, we have this Earn program to help these projects that are having a confusing hard time growing their community. And it's just our army. We have over 250,000 individuals that are registered on our platform with their cryptocurrency wallets. And they do all kinds of little micro tasks for these, like joining a Discord or joining Twitter. And the difference between us and like a lot of these silly services, these are real people. And we have an AI validated system that's going through everything, making sure that people are doing high quality, good work, so it doesn't look silly and ridiculous. And these are NFT fanatics, so they're looking for projects that we work with, and we only really incorporate these services for projects we really highly believe in. So that's another product and service that WeU has and has launched and very successfully with. We also have WeU Pieces, which is like our ecosystem NFT. So the NFT that we dropped in November. These NFTs get you extra tickets for to the launch pad. It gets you into all kinds of exclusive clubs and exclusive access. We have a gift pass, and that NFT drop was done with the United Nations. So we had refugees actually make these NFTs. That's a whole nother story, but like we had refugees make these, and we fundraised for the United Nations. So we raised 350,000 euros, I think, with that NFT drop.
Cool.
All raised went to the refugees that participated in it, and those are now our ecosystem ones. And then of course we have the marketplace that's just right around the corner.
I've seen a lot of NFTs for good coming out. Just this morning, I was cruising the feed and I saw stuff about Rainbow Rolls NFTs, which addresses medical debt, and Dead Ringers, which is like kind of a spinoff of Ringers to raise money for something. I can't remember what, but it's awesome to see those sorts of things. I wanted to go to your website real quick, and so in case people are going there to check you out. So right now I look here and I've got Solana's NFT Cyberwave. So tell me, how does this work? There's this NFT launch. How does that relate to Weyu or WeU?
Yeah, so this one was just our last WeLaunch client or partner that launched on here. So that just wrapped up a couple of days ago. So that the website is still live with this, but usually the website would have the basic things that WeU is about. But when we do partner with people to do a drop, to do a lottery system, or to partner with, we give them a lot of attention. So we've created our whole homepage here, and very dedicated to the Cyberwave team. And they launched a couple of days ago, and they were, I think it was about 279% sold out. So our lottery system, we granted access for people. They can buy a lottery ticket. From there, they have a potential to win one of these NFTs. So it was a very, very successful drop for us.
This is on Solana. Are all of your products on Solana? Are you Solana?
No. So yeah, that's a good question. We set out to be a multi-chain ecosystem for these things. So we also incorporate Binance Smart Chain and have Ethereum-based products and services, and we'll incorporate any chain that makes sense to add to the NFT revolution that's happening right now. But currently, our main focus is on Solana, because there's just so much going on there. And the numbers are insane, the communities are insane, and some of the products and projects that are coming out of the Solana NFT side are really exciting.
Cool. Hey, I just want to give everybody a welcome. We've got a few more people joining. I'm Andy from Chainlink Labs. I'm talking to Chris Dawe from WeU, and we're just kind of going over what is WeU, what is it about, where does this come from? Learned a little bit about the name origins. Chris is a deep cut kind of guy to those deep sci-fi references. I'm all about it. One of the questions I had for you is I think a lot of people coming into NFT space, they understand OpenSea, right? It's a marketplace and you can get NFTs there. How is WeYou different from something like that, like a marketplace where you get NFTs, or different from a wallet where you would hold an NFT?
Yeah, so like I was explaining, just it's a suite of different products and services that people can tap into. Definitely the marketplace, when that comes out, that'll be the bedrock and foundation. But we're building out an ecosystem first. Like I said, we have 250,000 community members with our what we call WeYou Earn, to help other projects build out their communities and support them. And so we're building that ecosystem. And there's a social element to this, with the United Nations being like really close partners of them. So we have several drops coming up with the United Nations. And then when it comes to the upcoming marketplace that we have, simplicity is like the absolute key for us. Like user experience, user experience, user experience. I'm a deep believer in decentralized systems, and I help build DAOs, and I participate in DAOs, and it's my entire existence right now. I don't have too many extracurricular activities that I do. Decentralized systems and the philosophy behind them is really important to me. But keeping things simple and really advancing the adoption of this ecosystem is incredibly important to me. And so I really feel that decentralized systems should always come secondarily, and you should not launch with too much decentralized systems, because you need leadership and you need to grow that out and then implement as things go along. So creating a DAO that's fairly simple, maybe it's a proposal system that people are engaged in, and really just, and maybe it's just voting at first. Like I really loved with like Uniswap and these things, you vote on certain aspects, and then you can tap into a treasury fund and do proposals and grow out and really find your community members that are really dedicated, not here for a cash grab, but more for the long term, and then implement these systems one step at a time. But the leadership of these projects need to come first, and they need to guide the community and the products and services to a certain point before letting go of the wheel in certain areas and certain points.
Yeah, I'm curious about decentralized organizations now, because while they're growing, like people are launching DAOs, there's all these communities, and there's been this push. If you take a look at like crypto markets, like just financial markets, there had to be an inflection point where there was enough participation where markets like acted normally. Before then, like it has to be artificial. There's a couple of market makers, a couple of whales who like do stuff and influence markets. But eventually, like inflection point kicks in. There's enough genuine market movements. That's what DAOs feel like to me. Is like, I don't know if there's enough participation yet for it to be a real, actual decentralized, autonomous system. It needs some sort of push, and we're still figuring out exactly like what buttons and levers do you push and click. And I'm just observing all this.
Yeah, and so am I, and so are we as engineers and participants, to see what works, what doesn't work. You have Ethereum, which is arguably the second best DAO out there, right? This is an incentive machine. There's lots of participation. I would argue that Bitcoin is the #1 DAO of all time, and is functioning at a higher level than anything else. And these guys, security first and decentralization first. I get it. But building products and services that incorporate the real world and real world users, I think is incredibly important to slow it down. And because if you get that wrong, for example, EOS raising $4.21 billion or something like this, it was really an experimental DAO governance platform, which looked good. In my opinion, the actual blockchain and how it works is the best, but the governance, it was broken, and so they didn't get a second chance. There was miners that kind of took over, or it just didn't work. So yeah, take it slow. If you're building something for the long term and you have investors, then it's your responsibility to try to get these things right and not experiment too much. So it's interesting.
Really interesting. Chris, we got to get together and just get some tea and talk to us and all that stuff as well. I do want to cover some more of the platform type stuff as well. Hey, everybody, we got even more people joining. Welcome. We're talking about WeYou, talking with Chris, talking about DAOs and community, and how community building first has been kind of a real emphasis at WeYou. And then you use that community to get a group of people excited about NFT projects, about marketplaces, about all this stuff together. We use integrated Chainlink and is using Chainlink VRF for something. What are you guys using Chainlink for?
Yeah, so we're going to integrate a lot of stuff with Chainlink. I had a great call with your team yesterday, but I've called with your team quite a bit. But the randomization of NFT drops, I think, is incredibly important, and using VRF within our systems for several different things is important. So we have a lottery system with our WeLaunch platform to prove that these lottery tickets are being drawn, yeah, factually and on chain with VRF. We also have lucky draws that are happening within our system. There is many places that we're implementing this within the ecosystem. Uh, yeah,
Cool.
those are some of them. But then we can move into the other stuff like price feeds, and you have basically three main products, and so we're really excited. I can't explain like how we are going to use the last one. So what are they called? Keepers.
Keepers.
Your keeper solution. It's really fun and really relative to real world businesses. I think a lot of crypto projects are still experimenting. A lot of them are still white paper projects, but we actually need to implement like centralized technology and decentralized partnerships and technology, and we will be using all three. And I think that WEYU will be the first project to use all three major project or major solutions from Chainlink. I think we will be able to get that done in the
Well, there's
next
four,
like
so
30 days.
I'm gonna give you one more to put on your list
Okay.
later on.
All right, cool.
That super secret linky one. It's not secret. It's just a little more under the radar. It's a deep cut. You like the deep cuts. Proof of reserve is the other one. So everybody, we've been talking a little bit about randomization. That's Chainlink VRF. That's getting random numbers into a smart contract that are provably secure. They're transparent. Hey, everybody. We saw a lot of people in the community saying hi, so I'm saying hi to you. I don't know how to pronounce some of these names, but hello to you. So there's Chainlink VRF, then there's the price feeds, which is kind of what most people know and associate with Chainlink. Chainlink Keepers is what you were talking about, Chris, which is smart contract automation. It's a way to do decentralized automation. And then proof of reserve, that's like it's a check to see what assets are held and reserved on lock. So like if you deposit something in one smart contract to mint it on another chain, you can do proof of reserve on that. There's a bunch of uses for it. Anyways,
Beautiful. Yeah, that's an important thing for us as well, because we obviously will be a multi-blockchain ecosystem. We already are a multi-blockchain ecosystem. So looking at bridging technology and the proof of reserve, which I haven't read into it yet, but I can understand it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think that that's an incredibly important feature for projects to implement, just for that like check mark, right? It's like the Twitter blue check mark. It's like these guys are good, and the reserves are there where they're supposed to be, and this went here and that went there, and this is how it happened, and it's there and good. So yeah, maybe we'll have
I'm
to go
excited for that
the
for DAOs. As we talk about DAOs, it's like it's community governance. Okay, well, let's have a public community treasury. Let's have some reserves on that. Anyways, we don't need to get into Chainlink shilling. You guys are here, and I appreciate it very much. Glad to have all the viewers here as well. Um, I'm really interested in multi-chain and multi-chain marketplaces. I feel like a couple of months ago there was a lot of chatter around that. People were excited about the possibility, but we haven't really seen NFTs move from chain to chain, anything like that. As you're building out multi-chain, you've got communities all over the place. What kind of future do you see for multi-chain NFTs? Am I going to be able to take my punk? Yeah, right. I wish I had a punk. Am I going to be able to take my punk and move it to Solana and move it to Avalanche and move it to Polygon and then back to Ethereum if I want, or do we need a different sort of model for that?
I think we need a different model, and we'll see, because there's a lot of smart kids in this space that are doing a lot of different things, right? But a lot of the complicated, like interoperable systems and stuff are things that the general public just will probably never use unless you build like an incredible interface to make it really simple. When we talk about multi-chain, I'm talking about the capability of attaching your wallet to our platform, any one of your wallets, and being able to trade and find, buy and sell and participate in that ecosystem on our platform. So right now you can attach your Binance Smart Chain wallet, you can attach your Solana wallet, and obviously if it's EVM compatible like Binance Smart Chain, it's really easy for AVAX and these things. So you connect your wallet and then you can observe and look for the things that you're really interested in now. And then in the future, will we be able to like atomically swap and interoperably move our NFTs from this chain to that chain? I think for sure the smart kids, I work with some of them, we can accomplish these things, but I just don't see it being A big thing. If you think about baseball, hockey, and football cards, I was the biggest collector as a kid. That's why like the industry is my favorite thing. I get to be a kid all over again. You had Topps, and you had Upper Deck, and you had Fleer, and you had all of these different brands that are making these cards. And it was like, they're not interoperable, you know. They're different things in different places. You have different reasons to use and be part of, you know, that ecosystem. And of course we would collect across, but you'd always have your favorite, you know. The Upper Deck were like, you know, less flimsy, and it had the hologram first, and that one felt like better and bigger, right? Then you had the cheap ones that sometimes there was rarity factors that made them incredibly expensive. So I think that the future of these subjects is going to be rewarded to the people that just make it simple for everybody.
It's really interesting. Topps, I know, is in the industry. They have NFTs now. They're doing a variety of collections. I've talked to some of their folks there. They're very cool. I'm very excited about collectibles, and that they get this whole space. I like this comparison between the different brands. You shook this memory out of my head. Is that Fleer was the best? Now, I don't have any basis for that whatsoever. It's just, as a kid, someone told me that once, and that's just what I believed when I was 9 years old. And now that has shown, like, oh yeah, Fleer, they're the best. I don't know that. I've never done research.
That's funny. That's probably good marketing on their behalf. Fleer to me as a child was like, it was kind of the outcast. So it was fun to have Fleer because it was hard for me to find in Canada. But in the US, it was like a much more prominent brand name. So it was
maybe that's why I lived very close to Canada, but I lived in the US. So maybe that's why. Maybe it was rare. Anyways, cool stuff. What other stuff did you collect as a kid?
Oh, listen, that was my first business. That was my first whole thing. So like from the age of 7, I started collecting. Definitely didn't have too much money in the family. So my father said, you know, you have a whole bunch of these doubles. I'm going to set you up a shop at the convention, and you can sell stuff to get the ones that you need. And it was primarily hockey and baseball. Those were the two big things. Really did not get outside of collecting cards. So I didn't get into Pogs. It was sports
same.
collectibles. And what's funny is I wasn't even a sports fan, like not even close to a sports fan, but I knew everything about hockey and baseball because of collecting. So I knew who the rookies were, who the upcoming rookies were, who the rookies of the year last year. And I just never watched the sports, but I collected them for the collecting sake of it, you know?
Cool.
But yeah, it was always sports cards. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of professional football players about collecting when they were kids and that sort of thing as well recently. And there's this sense of that as well. I collected poorly. I didn't know any of the players, but like whatever my dad told me was cool. That's probably why I thought Fleer was so great. It's like, oh, they're good, and then I still have them. Like I still have these collections, and of course I collect all this gear back here. It's a sort of a natural phenomenon, especially in like sort of geeky circles. You want to have this cred, having the Wii U, knowing that deep cut into the Alien series, it all fits together. I like that very much.
Yeah.
And of course with art, right? You know, having original art, it fits in as well. Anyways, I love this conversation. Got a couple of questions in here. Hardy is asking how the recent dip in the market has affected business practices. And so, we don't talk a lot about specific market movements here, but in general, the people that I talk to in the crypto industry, and Chris, you can give your perspective on this as well. But the people I talk to in the crypto industry are not in it for the short term and have done planning for long term market changes. The market's volatile. It's part of crypto and part of business. And so by doing planning for long term, you kind of even out. Sometimes the market is up and sometimes the market is down, and you manage the treasury as best you can to make sure and pay your bills and pay your employees and staff and do what you need to do. So I haven't seen industry-wide, I've seen no change in business practices. People are still building, still going forward. I still hear announcements. There's still Chainlink announcements for integrations every day, multiple a day, and such. Chris, do you have a perspective on that?
Yeah, listen, I'm in it as well, right? I can feel and sense the struggles of people financially getting into these markets, especially the new people. I've been here since 2014, and I've just decided to build businesses and infrastructure with this technology. It's a huge passion point to me. Now the transition from cryptocurrencies and blockchain and NFTs and collectibles, it's like this is my dream. This is my dream. So yeah, when it comes to building these projects, I think there's a lot of amateurs trying to build something that they think will have value, or maybe it's a cash grab. I don't know. So I know a lot of projects can run out of reserves and run out of cash, and that's like startups as well. So it's not just crypto. It's really important if you're raising money in an NFT project or in a crypto project or a startup, or even from your parents to get a car. It's important to be really smart with that money, you know, and don't gamble with it, and don't take risks with it. This is not your cash. If it's your cash, go nuts, go crazy. But yeah, I think most of the players that I play with in this industry, it's super long term. I let everybody know WEYU will be here in 5 years. I can guarantee you that, because even if reserves are not there, I will not stop, and nor will my community or my core team. So I feel the pinch with individuals, but for business practice, we're totally fine.
If there's a time crunch on an asset, I tend to just say I'm good. I don't want to deal with the time crunch, because that's not something I want to risk or gamble or like educate any of that stuff. And so that lets you do a lot of due diligence, a lot of education, so that you know what you're getting into with different projects, where you're dedicating your time, what kind of communities you're joining.
I think it was Michael Saylor that said this just recently, and this is really important to like everybody, and this needs to be said by all industry leaders all the time. If you can't hold what you're buying for 10 years, if you don't have that conviction, don't do it. It's absolutely immature and silly, unless you're a professional day trader or some kind of that's watching the markets, which is basically nobody. Really look at something. It's so much easier to hold long term. My Bitcoin and my Ethereum, I don't ever have to worry about, because I'm holding it for my daughter and my son, to give it to them on their 20th birthday. Like it doesn't affect me even in the slightest. So if you can't have the conviction of holding something for 10 years, then you really should think about like what that is, and maybe study it more to get that conviction. So I think it's important.
I want to get back to collections a little bit. We talked about some of the collecting we've done. We've saw this one collection that you guys have recently done on WEYU. What are some of the exciting collections that you've seen that you've been the most excited about? I know it's hard to pick one. You guys work with a lot of groups, but are there any sort of novel applications that kind of tickled your imagination that you want to share with us, just as an example of the sorts of projects you support with WEYU?
Yes. So Cyberwave, that one that just wrapped up, Cyberwave on Solana, I think is an incredible project. They're out of South Korea, and they're building a play to earn game. I think the transition from regular JPEGs with no utility into what we're seeing today, because you've had a lot of people say like, well, it's just a picture, you know, that's all it is. And so people being very crafty to build in utility and build in functions and features. So Cyberwave is integrating a token, right? So you have these social tokens that go along with these NFT things, and you'll be able to stake the NFTs to participate in a game, to kind of protect your little region of this land. And every single 24 hours, people are earning some cryptocurrencies called cyber to participate with their NFTs. So these new forms of utility are the most exciting for me. You know, I think Gary Vaynerchuk like just blew it up. What a smart guy. I thought like, man, you're a smart dude, but like you need to beat it on the NFT and crypto space. Like you can't just like jump in here. And he's coming out with these ideas of like, people can play basketball with me one-on-one with my NFT. And I'm thinking, what are you doing, man? What? But he just blew it. He blew it wide open for people to really expand their thoughts about how these things can work. So I think like the industry will look back at 2021 and look at like the Gary V's and some of these different projects that are trendsetters in the utility factors of these little miniature things we call NFTs, but they're actually like little programmable computers. You know, they can do things, right? So my NFT, my Cyberwave NFT, I can stake to do and participate in something that's not just a JPEG. So yeah,
I
that's
think
one
about
of
them.
them.
I think about them as composable tickets. So we've got composability in DeFi. If there's a smart contract, right? If I deposit an asset in Aave, I get a replacement token, and I can stake that somewhere. And these are composable. Or I can deposit something in Urine, who then goes and farms on Compound, who's then lending, right? And these are composable. Well, NFTs are like tickets. It's a signed digital verified stamp that yes, I belong in this community. I have this token, whatever it happens to be, and that's composable. Now I can use that in a variety of different places as well. So really exciting to see these things. I was talking to Des Bryant about his as well, and with his community. What are they called again? Oh, I can't remember what they're called. He posts about them all the time. But like he got people, he does drawings he's taking somebody to the Super Bowl with him, one of his NFT holders and tickets and a box seats at Dallas Cowboys. And like, so these sorts of things that the Gary V's, the Des Bryants and those sorts of folks are doing are, different kinds of experiences that they're giving to people.
Yeah, it's too exciting, right? If you think about NFTs as a loyalty program, so let's say something like Tomorrowland or some big festival, Lollapalooza or what have you, all year long they're focused on like one weekend of the year, right? And they're promoting that. But if you turn that ticket into an NFT and then create a virtual ecosystem, an online ecosystem, you can have those participants throughout the entire year participating in all kinds of the loyalty program functionalities of NFTs are going to blow everybody away. We're working with a couple of the largest Dutch brands right now, which I can't mention, but it's going to blow the roof. Like it's going to blow the roof off what's possible, because these old systems of air miles and these things, when you incorporate them into an NFT and you get people educated on how to use them, the future is crazy here. Like it's going to encompass everything. And it sounds weird to me because even a year ago I was thinking like, all right, this is cool, collectibles, like really two-dimensional, we have like baseball and hockey cards. This will transcend like everything, and that's no longer like debatable in my circle. It's factual and it's so much fun. And that makes it hard for people like myself to focus on one thing, because there's so much to do and so many possibilities. So it's the most fun industry ever. And if anybody's out there like confused by it, start studying as hard as you can right now, because there's a job for you, a future for you for forever here, like for sure.
I was just scrolling through my Twitter feed, and there's a great thread about like how to get started and educated quickly on this stuff. So find me on Twitter and like scroll down 10 tweets or so. Diana Chen posted it. It's really, really great. If you are new here. I just wanted to comment the festival thing. ETH Denver is doing that. They had an NFT that is the ticket, and then they're starting to add more utility to that, and that's coming up now. So I'm not super deep in that one, but I'm going. I have one of them, but people are starting to do that with the festivals as well. Chris, we can go on forever because you and I are like, all right, we're into this, and I appreciate these questions and the community as well. Hardy, thank you for your comments. Chris, as we sort of wrap up here, I'm going to send everybody to all your properties. I got everything down in the description below, so everybody's going to go follow WEYU and the website and stuff. Two-part question. One, what do you guys got coming up on the roadmap? And then Stephen Brown in our community here has a question for us as well. What excites you the most about the NFT space? We'll start with that one. And then Stephen, I'll answer the second half of your question here in a minute. But Chris, roadmap and what excites you the most, kind of a abridged version of that.
Yeah, so roadmap, we have a United Nations NFT drop coming up in about 30 or 40 days. So announcements will come out. There will be a global joint press release with the United Nations and WEYU. So that's really fun. And our undivided focus other than that drop right now and the products and services, but there's one major focus, and that's this marketplace that we've committed to building out. I think people are going to be incredibly impressed on how we release this. Our go-to-market strategy is pretty crafty and fun. We have a lot of technologists behind the project and a lot of fun marketeers behind the project as well. So looking at Looks Rare and looking at these other marketplaces and how they come to be, we have a pretty fun time going on. So the big major focus over the coming weeks is this marketplace, and I think everybody needs to just like keep a really close eye on, because it's going to heat up the industry and be a whole bunch of fun. I feel so that's it. And then what excites me, there's nothing that doesn't excite me in this industry. It's absolutely dumb. Every single day I wake up and I go, holy smokes, like what the heck? Every day I have like this dream of something new, and it's like, oh my God, that's applicable. Like that's a multi-million-dollar business just by itself, I'm coaching my wife's sister. She's like, I want to work with brands. I said, this is how we do it. We have a partnership with Launch My NFT, which makes it easier than ever to be able to mint and deploy your NFTs on Ethereum or Solana or Polygon. So those guys are doing revolutionary things. It's all this is the most exciting space ever, and if you don't agree, yeah, that's weird. It's weird.
Chris, Awesome answer. Thank you so much for coming on. Steven, great question. I'll follow up with that in a minute. But for Chris, thank you so much for coming and talking to us. Let's do a follow up. All right. You guys are using Chainlink for a bunch of stuff coming up in the future. Launch this marketplace. Go, talk to the UN or whatever is coming out. And then we'll follow up with you again in a couple of months and hopefully see you soon. Does that sound good?
Andy, I would love to anytime. If anybody ever drops out, just like shoot me the link and I'll jump in and we'll chat.
Sounds good, man. I'll talk to you later. Peace.
Awesome.
All right, everybody, stick around for a sec. I'm going to talk to y'all. What a great chat. I love it when that sort of stuff happens. We just kind of get excited and go off on tangents here and there. But WEYU, what a platform! Very interesting and cool to talk to Chris. Steven, you're asking what excites me the most about the NFT space. I like what really fascinates me is when creative people get like technical like build technical systems, because you can build them weird because there's this creativity. And so the way that technical systems have always been built doesn't have to be that way. You can add this creativity to it and these weird gamification elements. I love seeing that, like these new ideas just kind of spawn and pop up, and seeing how those succeed or fail or whatever it happens to be. That's very exciting to me, is to see not just new projects, but like artists take on technical projects and really redefine an industry. And the other one, my advice to people who are just finding out about NFTs, there's a popular video going around that really dumps all over NFTs in the whole Web3 space. Last week, it's got millions of views, and there are many good points to it. I actually do suggest you watch it and be aware of some of the dangers of this space. At the same time, go to the Chainlink blog, blog.chain.link, and read about NFTs. Get the real information about what they are, what they can do, what do smart contracts do. There's videos on this very channel that Sergey Nazarov does, presentations, Sergey's co-founder of Chainlink, that explains the value add of smart contracts, what's so important about them, because they are really important. They're critical. And they change the game on how we have to trust other people or institutions. And that's the core of what Web3 and NFTs are about. NFTs are not pictures, right? They're not pictures. They can have pictures associated with them, but they're a lot more than that. So understand what they are. When you understand what they are, and then you start exploring what some of these projects are doing or trying to do, you'll come to understand a lot more. Plus, you'll be able to evaluate when there's a good project that's really trying to do something interesting versus a project that doesn't really know what they're doing and can lead you to danger. So, Steven, that would be my advice. Finding out about more. You can always watch a lot more of these videos, because we post talks with founders and creators and NFT projects that integrate Chainlink a couple of times a week. So like and subscribe to this video so you see more videos like this. And whenever we talk to WEYU again, you'll see that. Follow smart_contract on Twitter, where we do announcements about these. Tomorrow, we've got one of these at 9 a.m. Eastern with Ether Risk. So this one's not NFTs. This is about decentralized insurance. Ether Risk has a decentralized flight delay insurance product. You can buy it, and then it's an automatic payout. It really showcases the value of smart contracts and how they make things more efficient. So like and subscribe to this. Follow everything WEYU. It's down in the description below. Thank you all for your comments and your questions. And again, thank you to Chris and the WEYU team for coming and hanging out with me. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern on Chainlink Live with Ether Risk. Peace, everyone.